week I'm setting up a 100-gallon aquarium using a SunSun 404b Canister filter and a Lifegard Aquatics Fluidized Sand Bed Filter. So this kind of filter is my go-to. I've been using this kind of setup for a long time. Just that for the last 3 years I've been using a sump refugium, and that served me really well, but that only works well when you have the space to do it. Here in the apartment that I'm in, I don't have a whole lot of space, and I want another aquarium. So that's what we're gonna do. Is we're gonna set up an aquarium with the fluidized bed filter. Now, for those who are new to this, the fluidized bed filter, the sand that's in the fluidized bed filter, once you fluidize that, and in this model will give you about 200 square feet of surface area for your beneficial bacteria to grow on. So the more surface area for your bacteria to grow on, your beneficial bacteria, the better it is. So more beneficial bacteria, the better. I'm not going to overload this tank, and normally the guys that use this tend to overload their tanks. And what I mean by overload is the bio-load for their aquariums. But I only have one large silver arowana in there, just to make sure that I'm not going to run out of biological filtration capacity for the bio-load of that silver arowana. I'm using this fluidized sand bed filter. I've used this for a long time, and it's something that's my go-to. I really like using it, so let's get to it. So here's the box for the fluidized bed filter. As you can see, it looks like that. So what we're going to do is, coming from the aquarium, instead of the intake for the fluidized bed being up here, I'm up here. So this is the outlet. Basically, this one's the outlet. This one's the inlet. Instead of doing that, we're going to put the inlet down here, and that's something that you can. It's set up for that. You just have to move the check valve so that it doesn't screw it up. So you don't want sand going back into your canister. So that's what we're doing. We're setting it up on the bypass and the T connector. So what you're going to need for this setup is a valve, basically for your. And this is a two little fishies valve. And let me open it up so you guys can see. So here it is. Let's see if camera will catch this. Okay. So here it is. The valve that we're using, and this is a 3/4 inch valve from Two Little Fishies, and with a barb fittings on both sides. So basically what's going to happen is, okay, so on the outlet, so this is where the outlet's going to go, and this is where, coming from the T fitting, so the outlet of the canister is going to go through here, going to go out to the aquarium, and the bypass is going to the fluidized bed filter. So it's basically going this way or that way. So it's going that way. So what's going to happen is, as you cinch down on this, you'll put more flow into. So the more you cinch down on this, the more flow you're going to put through your fluidized sand bed filter. So that's how you're going to control flow through there. And you can't put the whole throughput of your canister through it, and I've done that before. I was a dumbass and did that before, and I put sand all over my aquarium. So it really works with a valve. you know, don't let anybody tell you that you can put the whole throughput of your canister unless it's a really small one in there. Even though if you're trying to start up the fluidized bed, you really can't do that. It's been my experience, even with following the instructions on how to put it together, the adjustment that's on the fluidized bed filter itself doesn't work. If you use that to control the flow, it will leak. So just leave that adjustment full open and use a valve like this to control the flow to your aquarium. And here's the T-fitting that we're using. So this T-fitting, it'll break up it'll separate the two, it'll separate the hose coming from your canister filter and allow you to create a bypass going to the fluidized bed filter. So that's how we're using this one. And of course, I bought some extra hose clamps. And if you're going to do this, use the 1-inch ones, which is a number. So the range should be 1.5 inches to 1 1/4 inch. Okay, 10 pieces. I think this is called the number 12. So this size. Okay. And I found it really saves a lot of heartache on setting up the fluidized bed filter if you use a funnel. Okay, there was a time that I used the directly from the bottle. This bottle where the sand is, this is what comes in the box, and I used it directly onto to put sand into the fluidized bed filter without the funnel, and it'll attach the sand particles will attach itself to the walls of the kind of valve adjustment fitting in there, and trying to keep that from leaking with sand in it, or even just a little bit of sand. Even 2 specks of sand will make it leak. So this is what I use. Use this, no heartache. It's great. All right, so let's set it up. I have a bucket set up for testing it, so to show you guys how it actually works. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I haven't seen anybody actually do a how-to on the Lifegard fluidized bed filter, and how you're really supposed to set it up. And since I've done it a bunch of times before, I'll show you guys how I do it now. And the way I'm going to simulate it is with a bucket. Anyways, I use that to wash out the to wash out the sand before I put it into the aquarium. Okay, so this is the main thing. This is the fluidized bed filter. So you basically fill it up with sand, and it comes with the sand, right? But even if it didn't, I have and it does. I have a spare bottle of sand here. So you fill it up here, and then when you start filling it up with water, it'll start fluidizing, and it shouldn't exceed this mark. So so for this one, so we know we're going to outlet here, and so we're going to put the plug here that's supposed to be meant for here, so we can put the check valve in here first and then put the barb fitting. Comes with the hose. I'm not going to use this though. Alright, I have my own hose that I'm going to use for this. Like I said, it comes with a ball of sand that you're supposed to be using for this. There you go. And these are assorted fittings and stuff that goes into there. This is the outlet to the tank. See, that slit is where the water comes out of. Comes with some thread sealant tape. Plug. So here's another plug. Hose clamps in there, and some silicone lubricant, and that's for the flow valve. The flow valve is this. This is the flow valve. So when we unscrew, there's a screw here, right? So you unscrew that to lift this out, and then this is where you pour the sand in, and let's start with this. So this is the inlet because it's got the check valve, but we're not using this fitting. So this fitting is a smaller 1/2, and I want to use a 3/4. So I'm just going to take this off. I need a female. I think I have a female 3/4. Alright, just got back from Home Depot to get this 3/4 MPT coupling. So we can attach this there we go, and this. So that's how it's going to look. My experience with this, with the threads that are on here, is that they're most of the time you need pipe thread sealants. There you go. So now the next thing is to unscrew this, take this off, and fill it with sand. So that's what it looks like. So the screw goes in that groove right there. That groove. And this is what controls the flow. Now we're going to put some sand in here. And it's supposed to fill up the sand to that spot. Alright, so right there. All we need now is the SunSun filter. Well, I still have to reassemble this. Okay, so when you reassemble it, tell you to put silicone on this area, on the rim, and on the O-ring, because this is the only thing that's holding it in, and it needs to be sealed really well. So put some silicone in it. Okay, so After you've applied silicone to the inside of this rim and on the O-ring, put it back in. Okay, reinstall the screw. Alright, so this is ready to go on the aquarium. Just need to, like I said, get that canister filter and hook it up. Bypass goes here. Everything's all sealed up. Bed sealer is good to go. O-rings are good to go. So, okay guys, so here it is, right? So the sand is in there. I already tested it. I wanted to test if it was going to be leak free, right? So an issue of this kind of system is that the manufacturer wants you to control the flow from here, but the problem is if it's not full open, it leaks from here, right? So you want to keep it full open, but you need a way to control the flow so that the sand doesn't go into your aquarium, right? So what I normally do is I do this, right? So I add a valve. Okay, so with the valve, so I'll close the valve a little bit more. Okay, so that there's only a little bit that's going to go through. So watch when I plug the pump in. So I'm gonna start opening it up because there's not much in there right now. See, now there's water going through. So see, it's still not fluidized quite enough, right? So it's still at the bottom, but we'll wait. What you want to do is wait. This is a wait and see type of system, right? You have to wait for it to fluidize and see how much flow you need to get to kind of right here. You don't want it to go through here because I've found that if you let the fluidization and the sand go to up here, you start spilling sand into your system. So you want it to kind of sit right there. So then I'm going to adjust it again. See, it's going higher now. You wait for it to settle out. Okay, I can open it up a little bit more. So that's what it's going to look like, and what the flow is going to look like going into your aquarium. Okay, just a little bit more, and we'll call it good. He's going too high. There. That's just about where I kind of like it be. So you really need an external way to control the flow coming from your pump, and I use that with the valve. And I'm using a valve that's from Two Little Fishies, and I'll post the link in the description below, as well as this FB300 fluidized bed filter. So if you don't know what a fluidized bed filter does, what it does is it tricks the system into thinking there's more. That you can add more bioload into the system, because this increases your surface area that you can use to grow beneficial bacteria. So I'm not going to overload it. I'm just going to put one fish in there, but I'm limited with the size of tank. So that's why I need to put one of these into my system that I'm going to set up. I already have a full setup system. I just want to give the fish more room with a different design of tank. So the reason why I'm testing this right now, so I just wanted to see if it's going to leak or not. So I was able to find one of my old pumps here that has a 3/4 fitting. And it's got one of the valves, and hooked it up to the system, and yeah, that's exactly what I want. This is exactly how I want it. I want it to flow just like this. So you really do need an extra valve in there to control the flow going into your fluidized bed filter, so that you won't run into trouble dumping sand into your system, because you don't want it to overflow. Well, I mean, it's inert. It's not going to do anything. But if you don't want sand into your tank where you don't, where there's no sand, or you didn't want any sand going in there, you want to be able to control through that valve. So the next one here will be installing the SunSun filter into the new aquarium. So since the my canister filter isn't here yet, and it doesn't look like we really know when it's gonna get here, I installed this in my sump refugium real quick to start the cycling process. So what I'm going to do anyway is on my the water that's in here is going to go into the new tank anyway, or at least halfway, so we can cut down on the cycling process for the filters and the aquarium. So I'll update you guys when I got this set up on the actual tank. Okay, so finally got the SunSun filter. It's in that cabinet over there. But I'm setting up the piping for it, and because this is a custom installation that I'm doing, so I'm still using the piping that's come with it, that comes with the filter, but I did install a few things here. So this is the valve that I'm using to control the flow, which this is basically the main flow that's going into the aquarium. And then this is a T that I installed here. It's a 3/4 T, so that's also a 3/4 valve from Two Little Fishies. And this is the T that's going to be the bypass going to the fluidized bed filter, which is that one right there. I'm cycling it right now using my sump refugium. So what's going to happen is there's going to be another line here, and then another valve, and then the fluidized bed filter is going to sit over here. So that's how I got this set up right now. Of course, that's the outlet coming from the this outlet. Well, the inlet coming from the tank to the filter, and this is the outlet of the filter going back to the tank. You'll notice I didn't use the. There's supposed to be a spray bar that comes here. I didn't use it. I have no use for it. It's just something extra. The fluidized bed's gonna sit over here anyway. It's gonna spray or it's gonna waterfall the water over here. I'm gonna get a lot of surface agitation. Both of these two outlets is gonna work at the same time. So I don't have a need for it. So so once I got this set up and turned around, and I'll take more video. Okay, so the filter media is here. So when you buy this from Amazon, from the seller, this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get these, and these are, so there's more, but what it is actually not here. Okay, so the blue one is coarse, and this is filter pads. Okay, the blue one is coarse, the green ones are medium, and then the black one here is fine. And then it'll also come with these, and these are the light brown one. I don't know if it comes out in the video well enough. That's an ammonia remover pad. The light green one is a phosphate removal pad, and the black ones, the two black ones, are carbon pads. They're carbon impregnated pads. I don't know if I'm going to use these, but it came with it anyway. And then it also comes with there's actually 8 of these filter floss pads. So the way I'm going to do this is that since the water goes through the hole and up through the bottom, so basically up through the coarse pad, so this is going to have to go in the bottom. Okay, so it'll have to be like this on the bottom tray, and there's 4 trays. So all right, let me set this up and get back to you. So as you can see, the bottom, I only made it up to the green medium pads. So it's coarse, the blue one, and then the 2 medium ones, and then the next I'm going to have the black ones, and then the filter floss. Okay, so the next one is the fine one, fine black one, and then filter floss. I might be able to fit one more filter floss up here, so that's going to be in the next tray. So on the next tray is going to be these ceramic biological media. So I'm thinking I'm going to take it out of the bag and just put it straight up in the tray. So I'm going to do that for the other ones as well. Alright, so here's the ceramic bio balls in the tray. I'm going to put them in there, and the next ones are these black ones here. So alright, started filling up the tank. I'll fill it up halfway with tap water, and then I already have the chemicals in there. I'm safe, and the neutral regulator and buffers and stuff like that, so it's all in there right now. And then I'm going to transfer for the rest of the water. I'm going to put cycled tank water in it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that setup, and I hope I gave you guys some more ideas on how to set up your own aquariums. As you see there, I put some media from my old sump into the aquarium to jumpstart the nitrogen cycle and the cycling process for the aquarium. I did seed it with some fish poop in there, coming from my other tank, just so there's a source of ammonia for the next week. And on and off for the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'll be adding more sources of ammonia in there and adding more cycled tank water into the aquarium, so that I can hasten the nitrogen cycle and the cycling process for the tank. Thank you for watching, and if you don't mind, please smash that subscribe button and the like button. The like button is for the YouTube algorithm, and it really helps me out. And the subscribe button so that you'll always be alerted whenever I upload a new video. I'll see you guys next video.